Hi, how are you guys doing? It's day 2 of 31 days of Halloween, and I am running a little behind because I got sick. And like most people, I started Googling my symptoms. And that's what brought us today's creepy episode, something that happened in October that will amaze you, even though it was over 100 years ago. Does this sound good to you? Well, stick with me for this short little story. I'm V, and this is Screams for You. So turn down those lights and lock those doors. Here's a scream you can't ignore. So, when you get sick, what's the first thing you think of? Nowadays, you think of COVID. So, I was Googling my symptoms, and thankfully, I just have a sinus infection. But I did come across something that we've all heard of, the Spanish flu. That's right, the big first epidemic to ever happen. And I just started reading into it and discovered some amazing things that I never knew. Did you know that the Spanish flu isn't even from Spain? They were just the first to report it. Another amazing fact is that there was a doctor who, once he seen the first case that was reported to the U.S. Public Health Services that this was going to be a major problem, but nobody ever even took him seriously. And then it spread. And by March, the actual first reported case was an army cook. And that was the first one in the books. And everything was mild. What you would expect for a normal, typical flu season that we have nowadays. The youngest and the oldest are the most common to die with the flu or become extremely sick. And that's how it started out. And 2 years later, by 1920, 1/3 of the global population was infected. That's up to 500 million people. So what does this flu have to do with Halloween? Well, it was really hard to quarantine, and that was the only thing they could do. There was no flu shot, no medicine. So death tolls just kept rising. Not to mention, all the medical camps and hospitals were overcrowded. There was poor hygiene, and most of the country was in malnourished condition because of the war. And the war helped spread it through everywhere. And this is the amazing fact. This silent, deadly killer hit its peak in October. October was reported to be the highest amount of deaths because of the Spanish flu. Do you know how many deaths that was? I was amazed to find out that before October, it ranged about 20,000, 19 to 20,000 a month. In the month of October 1918, 292,000 people died of this. 292,000 people. I just had to reset it because I didn't believe it. That is a lot of people, especially when the death toll varies. Nobody really knows how many died all together in all 3 years until it finally started calming down. And the estimations are between 17 million and 100 million. But that October season was definitely someone's worst Halloween ever. So, be careful out there and don't get killed by a virus. Have a creepy night, and don't forget to subscribe so you can catch all 31 days of Halloween. Next, we'll be going over the man who killed Halloween.